Hello viewers, welcome to our channel. Today Dr. Harita is with us, Chief Dietitian at Apollo Hospitals, Jubilee Hills. Doctor, which foods are good for winter season?
Yeah, see, winters we should consume foods which keep us warm. So foods which keep us, make you very cold. Say a buttermilk is there, or the cool vegetables which have higher water content, or vegetables like watermelon. They have a heavy high fruits like watermelon. They have a very high water content. So you need to consume less of those, and foods which are very hot and warm. Say you have barley, you can consume that as a liquid in a hot manner. You have buttermilk either can be consumed as plain buttermilk, or it can be converted into curry and consumed. Since north is very cold, usually people convert it into a curry and still include that curd or buttermilk in their diet. Soups are a very good thing to be consumed in winters because it immediately brings up the body temperature. So foods like this which keep you warm should be consumed in the winter season, so that the body temperature is maintained and you feel comfortable with it.
Doctor, which food is good for weight loss?
So this is a very difficult question to answer in one sentence, but all foods which make you full yet don't give you much calories are the foods which are good for weight loss. So which are these foods? The top would be your fruits and vegetables, because you can consume, say, half a kg of vegetables and get very little calories compared to sweets. If you have one laddu, you get so much calories. If you have one small piece of chocolate brownie, you get almost 300 calories. But in vegetables and fruits, it's the other way around. You consume one big apple, you still get only 50 calories, but it feels full, right? If you eat one apple at a meal, you can feel absolutely full and really don't want to eat anything, at least for a couple of hours. And that's the difference, and therefore they are called zero calorie foods, negative calorie foods which increase bulk and satiety.
So doctor, what should be the best diet for first month of pregnancy?
Okay, this is an entire chapter in itself, because if you're looking at maintaining a good health, it can begin way before a person can get pregnant. So there is a lot about preconception or pre-pregnancy diet, and especially in the first few months, that is in the first month to the first 3 months, it is very crucial to ensure that you're eating all kinds of micronutrients. And one of the most important micronutrient that you will see which comes forth is folic acid, which prevents a lot of nerve related defects which could happen in the child. And therefore nutrition is so much emphasized pre-pregnancy. You may not know when you are getting pregnant, and therefore throughout the period when you plan for pregnancy, you should be not only eating a well balanced diet, but you can also focus on certain nutrients. Like, you have to make sure that you are not anemic, you are not underweight, you have enough folic acid in the diet. Folic acid you get from green leafy vegetables, you get from nuts, you get from lot of fruits like oranges, and therefore should be included in your daily diet if you're planning your pregnancy, or you've just got married and you're going to be in your family very shortly.
Doctor, which fruits should be avoided during pregnancy?
Which fruits should be avoided during pregnancy? If you look at literature per se, there is nothing which says that this fruit is bad or that fruit is bad. I think most commonly people don't eat papaya because the raw papaya in the raw form is supposed to be bad for pregnancy, or it doesn't let the pregnancy continue. But that's really not true for raw fresh ripened papaya, because it's a very good source of vitamin A. And there is no scientific literature which says that this fruit is bad, that fruit is bad. It has more come from the myths and facts which are floating around. In fact, if I look at and list all the fruits, each community will say this fruit, that fruit, and if you put all of them together, you cannot have fruits at all during pregnancy. So there is no such thing as no fruits during pregnancy. You can consume all seasonal fruits during pregnancy.
What is the best food for skin care?
What is the best food for skin care? The primary basis is of course a good well balanced meal where we are getting all the different nutrients, because if you look at micronutrients, they are important. If you look at protein, that is important, but one of the most essential nutrient we are looking at for skincare is vitamin C. So all foods which give you enough of vitamin C, whether you're drinking it in the form of a tomato juice, a lime juice, you want to just churn the gooseberry or amla and drink that as a concentrated form of juice, whichever gives you guava, which is the next to gooseberry, which is not very easy to consume, is guava, that you can comfortably consume. So when it is available, have plenty of guava. That kind of opens up your skin and makes you look fresh and kicking. Similarly, oranges are a good source, but if you look at gradation wise, your gooseberry will stand at the top, followed by guava, followed by oranges, followed by tomatoes and other fruits and vegetables. So if you're looking at the best nutrient for skincare, it has to be vitamin C.
Doctor, what food improves skin color?
Oh, I don't think there is one food which you can eat and improve skin color. Otherwise, the whole world would have been doing it. It is more about skin health. The moment the skin health is good, the overall health is good, the vibrancy is very clearly seen. So I cannot categorize one thing saying that skin color improves with it, but if you are able to follow all the principles of good eating, whether it is about eating the right kind of protein, eating the right kind of foods, avoiding junk, ensuring that you are eating some amount of fruits and vegetables in the diet, and include a lot of nuts in the diet, that will ensure that the overall health is good and that will shine through your skin as well.
Okay. Doctor, what is a balanced diet?
A balanced diet is essentially what we discussed now, that you need to get all the different nutrients, whether they are macronutrients or micronutrients, in a particular meal. So you have to. And how do you get a balanced diet? How do you ensure these nutrients are present? Is consuming foods from basic 5 food groups. So the 5 food groups are the cereal group. So you have to have whether rice or roti or chapati or bajra, jawar, whatever cereal you choose to, that should be there. Fairly good quantity of protein rich food should be there. You need to consume enough fruits and vegetables, and any vegetable that you consume, any fruit that you consume, but some consumption should be there. And a very small quantity is catered to your fats and sugars. So they are there, they are essential, but they should be highly limited in their consumption. And if you've ensured this basic principle, you are getting a balanced meal, and you need not or cannot count the micronutrients, and you can just leave it there.
Okay. Doctor, which fruits is good for bones?
I don't think you can pick any fruits which are good for bones, because bone health is essential. Healthy bone seeks a lot of calcium and seeks a lot of vitamin D and phosphorus. But calcium you get mostly from milk and milk products, from non-vegetarian sources, the soft cartilage bone, or the fish where we are eating the soft bone. All these are good sources of calcium. Certain green leafy vegetables, certain cereals like ragi are a good source of calcium. While we are taking enough calcium through the diet, or you're taking it as a supplement, we have to ensure that there is enough amount of vitamin D which you are getting from your sun exposure, which you are getting from your foods, and which you may be taking from a supplementation. Both need to go hand in hand to ensure that we are having good strong bones which we can maintain throughout the life.
Hello, doctor.
Hello.
Doctor, what is the best vegetables to eat?
Okay, so this is an unusual question, in fact, one of my favorite questions, where I will ask when we are taking a session, we will ask what is the best fruit to eat, what is the best vegetable to eat. So different people will give me different answers. Most commonly people will say apple is good, or people will say spinach is good, etc. But the best answer to this would be a seasonal fruit and vegetable. Whatever you get in the season, the nature has provided the right environment, right climate, to produce these, and therefore and the right soil at that point of time, and therefore it will be the richest source of nutrients. So whatever seasonal we get, like in this season we are getting oranges, we are getting plenty of guava, so it will be the best guava that is available, and therefore the best vitamin C source that we can get. We are also getting this amla, gooseberry, usirigai, so that is also one of the best sources of vitamin C. Whether you want to apply it on your face, you want to put it on your hair, you want to drink juice, you want to eat something made out of amla, anything that you want to do will provide you a fantastic source of vitamin C. Therefore seasonal fruits and vegetables are the right thing to have. Quantity wise, you need to make sure that at least 100 grams lunch and 100 grams dinner, if you are eating, that is 1 cup at lunch, 1 cup at dinner, you have got the required nutrients, fiber and all the micronutrients which you really need not calculate.
Doctor, what is good fat and what is bad fat?
Yeah, so fats have taken a lot of beating, but yes, we need to know what is good and what is bad, because good fat is essential for the body because it keeps the nerve healthy. It is required for certain vitamins to be absorbed. For example, if you are taking vitamin D, vitamin E or vitamin A, all of this need fat to be absorbed into the body and being available to the body. Even though it's there in the diet, if fat is not there, they cannot be absorbed, and therefore some amount of fat is required. All fats which all vegetable fats especially, which come in the form of oils and which do not have too much of saturated fat, that means which do not solidify at room temperature, are good for you. In a scientific way, if you want to say, we look for oils which are rich in monounsaturated fats. So if you take your olive oil, if you take your peanut oil or groundnut oil, if you're taking mustard oil, soya bean oil, all these have fairly good amount of monounsaturated fat, good for our body. They do not accumulate cholesterol, they do not cause blocks in the arteries, and therefore should be a preferred choice as compared to consuming only butter, cheese, or the animal fat which is available, excess amount of animal fat. All these are coming under the not so good category, and therefore because they increase the bad cholesterol, that is the LDL, which they increase, which causes the block in arteries. So all those which are saturated animal sources of fat are bad, and the vegetable oil sources are preferably good. In that also, if you are looking for specification, it is the ones which are rich in monounsaturated fat like soybean, mustard, groundnut, olive, which are good for the heart.
Doctor, is meat bad for good health?
You cannot categorize the food, for some people it is good, for some people it can be bad. For example, if somebody is already having high cholesterol values, if somebody is suffering from uric acid, or somebody's kidney functioning is not so good, all these category, either because of the fat or the protein that it gives, they should not be consuming. But if you take somebody with very low blood levels, somebody who's very anemic, they need to consume red meat, because the kind of iron that it has is very easily assimilated in the body, and the iron levels in the diet in the food are good enough to increase the blood hemoglobin. So it is subjective. For some it may be good, some it may be bad, and therefore need to you cannot bracket the food as good or bad, and need to understand based on your clinical condition whether you are allowed to consume or not consume.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks for the information. I hope you like this video. If you like it, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you.